motion on that, please?
Move adoption.
Second.
2, please.
Move adoption.
Thank you. Any discussion? No discussion? So we have no new business. So public considerations, there are none. Chair's reports, there are none. Staff reports. The Strathcona Gardens Recreate Project Grant Application Update. Can I get a motion to receive the item?
Move receipt.
Thank you. Discussion?
Second.
I think, Wolf, are you going to speak to this?
Through the CAO to the Commission, good afternoon. This is a report that provides an update to grant applications that we have submitted to the Recreate project, and also to speak about the next steps in order to continue moving the project forward. So 2 applications have been submitted, the first one in 2022 to the Strategic Priorities Fund. This application was submitted for the new aquatic center, just to help us get funds. We received a letter a couple of weeks ago that we were unsuccessful. We scheduled a meeting with UBCM just to find more details about our application, just to see how can we improve and what were the reasons for us not to be successful. So the good news is that a little bit about the results. 190 projects were submitted. Only 55 projects were successful. Out of those 55 projects, over 20 were capital projects. So they only had $100 million available and over $500 million in projects. So oversubscribed, as you can see. The good news is that they reviewed our application, and we're scored very high in all areas, and we're meeting up the national and provincial objectives, which is good for us to know. So for future applications, we know that we have all the, we're meeting all these requirements. The bad news that we didn't make it to that 25%. And so that's kind of where we are. And a second grant application that we submitted to the Green and Inclusive Communities Building. This application, we're asking for $13.5 million. It's also an application to build a new aquatic center. This application was submitted in February 2022, and we're expecting to hear back from the federal government in fall 2023. With respect how this first application that we submitted to the Strategic Priorities Fund will affect the budget that we have, we included the $6 million that we were hoping to get in the budget. So we did not get that. That's going to affect the requisition for the residents of Electoral Area D and Campbell River by $17. That would be the increase. But the good news is that if we're successful with the Green and Inclusive Communities Building, that requisition would be decreased by $37. So that's where we are with the grant applications. The second part of the report is related to the next step to continue moving the project forward. So several steps have begun. We have been in touch with the consultants. We engage again the prime consultant and the sub-consultant team to start looking at the professional fees to design the arenas, which is the new scope of work, and also to amend the contract. We have engaged the prime consultant to start putting a package together so we can apply for permits, 2 different permits that we have to apply for this project, one to Vancouver Island Health Authority to build and operate the aquatic center, and the second building permit to the city of Campbell River. So we already reached to the city of Campbell River to set up a meeting with different departments to submit the complete package and understand how long it's going to take to have a permit, and including the costs. Also, including the next steps is the borrowing by law process, which is a process that is going to take somewhere between 4 to 5 months. Very important as well in order before we can actually start construction. So those are some of the steps that we have in progress in this moment, and I welcome your questions.
Thank you for that. Questions? Go ahead.
Thanks. Moving ahead, if we don't get any of those grants, if any other opportunities come up, are we eliminated from the process if all of a sudden, there was a new opportunity by the fact that we've actually moved ahead? Does that remove us from the list, or could there be future opportunities?
If you can, Mr. Chair, it depends. This one that we've currently got an iron in the fire allows you to start building, and they'll pay you back for what you've started. So I think that's a little bit unique. So we're super hopeful of that for 2 reasons. We can begin, and they'll pay us money back for what we've spent. And then depends on the future applications, what they are and their requirements, if they'll allow you to. Often they'll say if you've started building, they won't contribute. Yeah. But we've got the project in 2 parts with the arena and the pool. So regardless, I think if any programs come out in the future that don't allow us to recoup money, we'll focus it on the arena.
Any other questions? Not seeing any. Thank you. So move receipt. All in favor? Thank you. Item number 2, terms of reference for the Strathcona Gardens Commission. Can I get a motion to receive, please?
Move receipt.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
I think just quickly, if I can, there's a. Did you want to speak to it?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is really an opportunity for the commission to do a bit of housekeeping to its bylaw. The terms of reference are really old, and there's some references that are out of date, and so we're suggesting that this might be a good opportunity to bring it up to the current language and standards and make this a Strathcona bylaw rather than a Comox Strathcona bylaw. So it's more of a housekeeping than anything else, but we'll provide some clarity to the commission members in terms of the mandate.
Okay. Thank you for that discussion. So I do see that there are 2 options. Has anybody decided what option they would like to move? Oh, we're still on receipt? Sorry. All in favor of receipt? Thank you.
I'll move option A.
Second.
Thank you. Number 3, Perfect Mind Agreement, proposed extension. Oh, sorry. I thought it was. Can we all vote? All in favor? None opposed? Thank you. Item 3, Perfect Mind Agreement, proposed extension. Motion to receive.
Move receipt.
Thank you. Discussion?
Nothing from staff, Mr. Chair.
I do have a couple of comments that I wanted to make on this. Unbeknown to some people, I was actually involved with the selection of Perfect Minds, so I know this program quite well. And I think that between Campbell River and the Strathcona Gardens, that they have spent a fair amount of time learning the program, doing a lot of modifications and those things. So I think that going forward with an extension on the agreement is the most sensible thing. I know that back in the day when the 2 Strathcona Gardens in the city of Campbell River were looking at the software, Perfect Minds was well ahead of what everybody else was doing. So I think it makes sense that even though there is an increase in price, that it does look like it's the best path. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, after receipt, I think there's some options for the commission to consider.
Yes,
I
there
will
is.
move option A.
Do we have a second on that?
We're still on receipt.
Okay. All in favor of receipt? Thank you. Any opposed? None.
I'll move option A.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. So moving down to correspondence, we have a correspondent called Russian Propaganda at the Strathcona Gardens.
Move receipt.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Could I get a comment from staff on their feelings on this issue?
Thank you through the CAO to the chair and the commissioners. You know, we've been looking at updating the look of the arena and, you know, the jerseys and the flags that are there are from, I believe, 2017, 2018. So we have been looking at doing a move to the arena with that, with the gear that was provided during the Worlds. But this is the only negative feedback we've had regarding the flags at the facility. So I don't see an urgent issue to move it.
Cal, maybe you want to mute there. We got a lot of feedback.
Any other discussion? So I'm not sure what we want to do with this. Do we want to get more information
Mr. Chairman, you're currently
on receipt?
still on receipt, so I think following receipt, if the commission wants to get more information or do nothing at all, then that's up to the commission.
So all in favor of receipt? None opposed, thank you. Does anybody want to do anything else with this? No? Okay. Thank you.
I would suggest we just hold on to it and monitor the situation. And if the complaints begin to multiply, then we look at doing something. But the facility manager says there's a plan in place to start moving things around, rearranging things. So I think we just let that process continue.
So item N, commissioners' reports, there are none. New business, there are none. Addendum items, there are none. Closed sessions, we do have one item. Can I get motion to receive?
Move receipt.
And item B, that the meeting be closed to the public to consider matters deemed to fall within the parameters of subsection 91C, N, and of 0 of the community charter. Thank you.
Move or second that.
Thank you. So this meeting's terminated and we'll go into closed session. All in favor of that? Thank you.
So Tom, will I have to bow out of this one and then will I be sent a new link?
No, you can just hang in there.
Okay.
We should do a rotating chair thing for all the electoral areas, because they don't get all the practice that we do on.
I know.
Yeah.
What do we do for Baker?
He doesn't need any practice. He should be, he could be, he could be the teacher. Teach everybody how the best way to do it.
So I apologize for that.
Mr. Chairman, do you have the closed agenda?